Okay, so now that you have all your negative feedback and we've talked about how to protect your psyche so you don't get upset, I'm going to show you a way to get to the patterns and the trends a lot faster so that you are not wasting even more time because you don't have time to sit there and get in your feels and go through item by item by item and go, okay, this falls in this bucket, this falls in this bucket. You don't have time. So we're going to talk about AI. And at the end of this lesson, you'll see not only how you can go through and find the patterns and the responses, but you can use it to formulate a slide deck to your executives mapped to exactly your company OKRs. You can write emails to make sure that everybody that you're inviting to the executive meeting where you're going to be sharing all the guts and the gore of the survey results are actually a good thing, and get them excited and more ready to join that session. Like, okay, this is good for business. Let's go. So just know that AI is not coming for your job. But someone who learns how to use it will be more effective at their role in HR than you are if you don't use it. It's kind of like walking to the grocery store when you could drive your car. It's like, you could, but why? So I'm going to share my screen and do a quick little voiceover from here. We're going to show you ChatGPT and walk you through some very easy examples. Just because I said AI, don't book it. Just because I'm about to talk about prompts doesn't mean this is hard. I mean, my kids use ChatGPT, okay? If you can use a microwave, you can use AI. I promise you. And you must, because you're about to see how much more efficient it's going to make you at your job. So here we go. Okay, so let's just say that you downloaded your company's survey responses and it looks something like this. Obviously, this is dummy data, but let's pretend there's sensitive information like employees' ID, their name, maybe who they report to, what department they're in, blah, blah, blah. And you're stuck going through all this yuck. There's a lack of accountability in my team. There's too much focus on short-term results rather than long-term strategy. Oh my gosh. I don't feel like my stuff makes a difference. Okay. Listen, it is not humanly possible to go through this perfectly and be like, I have a totally clear understanding why everyone's upset. And this is a small example. So what you can do to go a lot faster and even be a lot more accurate is copy just the feedback, okay? Because remember, surveys are supposed to be anonymous anyway. You don't need to know necessarily all this other stuff. You don't have to worry about pasting anything into ChatGPT and being like, worried about violating people's privacy. You're going to go to chatgpt.com and make an account, okay? Let's pretend like that was a step that happened. Just make an account. It's free. What you're going to do is simply, I've already typed some of this out. What you're going to do is say like, hey, what are the patterns and themes of this employee feedback? I'm an HR leader who needs to summarize and understand holistically where our employee experience needs improvement. I don't know why the equal sign is there. Blah, blah, blah. Copy, paste. Oh my gosh, watch this. Go. You don't have to be fancy. Here are the key patterns and themes emerging from the employee feedback. Leadership and communication gaps. Career growth and development. It even gives you a cute little summary. It just kind of assumed you needed this. What's really cool is if you get to this and you're like, wow, that's helpful, you can go back and double check, like, am I seeing this in here? Like, yes. Oh my gosh. It's going to summarize for you a lot faster. What you can do is like, can you tell me the most common theme overall? And it's going to say, yeah. Oh, I skipped this part. It gives you overall insights and actionable takeaways. Prioritize leadership transparency. Improve executive communication. How often have we heard that? Share long-term strategies and create forums for open dialogue. Doesn't that sound actionable? The most overall common theme was disconnection from leadership, from the team, and from the company's mission. Oh my gosh, you copy this and paste it into a deck, you're going to seem like chef's kiss brilliant. But the theme showed up in multiple ways, okay? Imagine where this is headed, okay? But it's breaking it down for you. Disconnection from leadership, disconnection from the team, disconnection from career growth, and disconnection from the company's future. That is some really laser focused takeaways there. And again, you're going to want to go back now that you've read that, and you're going to see it like, yes, that is what's being conveyed. But you didn't have to take the time to go through and like bucket things and then write this incredible summary right here, right? Isn't this so helpful? So another thing you can ask it, which I pre-typed out, please use Gallup's hierarchy of needs to tell me what are the most pressing needs to prioritize first and why. Boom. Let's save some brain power. Of course you're thinking for yourself, but it's helpful to have someone helping you think with you. So it's going to go through just like I taught you. I have what I need to do my best work. I know what's expected of me at work. It's going to go through and say, the most pressing issues seem to be outdated technology and a lack of necessary tools and resources. You're going to screenshot the employee hierarchy of needs from that chapter. I'll link to it in the bottom. You're going to paste that in a deck and be like, hey, all of this was the key themes and takeaways, but like we really need to focus here first. And you're going to be reading it and you're going to be like, that does make sense. That is easier. This is the answer to the HR team of one or the HR team of 2 or 3 to like so many employees. That is so ridiculous when that happens. And I hate that for you. But here's a workaround for now. Here's how we're going to take this further. Now, I'm sorry, I didn't like go into detail for all of these, but you can kind of get the point. It has summarized everything for you. Let's take this a step further. Here are our company goals. Please help me analyze the negative feedback and how it ladders up to our OKRs. I need to convince my leadership team that people problems are revenue solutions. Paste that little quote unquote prompt, which is just Christy riffing. You do not have to be perfect. You do not have to have perfect grammar. ChatGPT can figure it out. It is very smart. I made up some fake OKRs. Let's say that, for example, these are your company OKRs. Increase revenue and profitability. Grow revenue by 15% by Q4 of 2025. Improve customer retention rate from 78% to 85%. But we're not going to listen to our employees until our HR leader is like, hey, goofballs, I have the revenue solutions. And it's in the negative survey responses. So you're going to paste that, okay? Go. Tell me how this ladders up. Linking employee feedback to OKRs. Why people problems are revenue. It's supposed to say solutions. ChatGPT is not perfect, but it's not going to make like gross mistakes. Don't ever ask it to quote an article, though. It's never been good at that. To effectively increase revenue and expand market reach and improve our customer experience, which, as you remember, were listed in here. Your company needs engaged, motivated, and high-performing employees. Yeah. We know that. Okay. So now it's kind of just summarizing the idea it gave you. So when it comes to lack of innovation and short-term focus, employees repeatedly state we're not innovating enough at this company. Oh, it's trying to give you OKRs. Okay, so you need to pay attention sometimes. I mean, all the time. But sometimes ChatGPT can get a little like confused. So we're just going to say this, it's trying to give you OKRs, which could be kind of cool too. You can make your own OKRs and really wow your CEO. Like, these are the OKRs I gave myself to ladder up to yours to make sure they actually happen. You could say, this is great. I'm always nice to ChatGPT just in case it comes for all of us. It's going to be like, spare the woman who was teaching HR. And I'll say, thank you. This is great. What I meant was, can you ladder up the feedback to specific company OKRs I gave you so I can literally see how fixing some of these problems can help us achieve our company OKRs. Basically, I'm trying to convince my leadership team that this negative feedback is a good thing. It's going to say, got it. Laddering up of employee feedback to each company OKR, showing how fixing these issues will help you achieve your goals. This will make it clear to leadership that addressing employee concerns is not just an HR initiative, it's a revenue generating strategy. What has Christy been preaching? There we go. ChatGPT, I love it. So if the company objective was to increase revenue and profitability, you're like, yeah, great. Well, we have employee feedback. If we want to grow revenue, people are saying they don't feel like their contributions are making a difference. People are saying, I'm unclear on how my work contributes to the company's overall success. We're not innovating enough. This is what you copy paste into a deck where you're like, hey, this is great. This is the answers that's going to get us to achieve these OKRs. Oh man. So it's going to go into, increase average deal size by 10%. They always want to do more with less. Oh my gosh. Don't even get me started on sales OKRs. They're gross. Employee feedback. There's lack of communication from leadership. We need more transparency about how decisions are made. I feel left out of important decisions in my department. All of this has to do with, like, if you imagine increasing the average deal size means basically you want to sell your product for more money per customer. So I don't know what you're selling or what industry you're in. It doesn't matter. But if your employees are feeling like they're left out of important decisions or that they need more transparency about why decisions are even being made, they're not even going to be bought into making this happen. They probably have a lot of intel from your customers about what they like and don't like that could be easily put into your product roadmap or your go-to-market strategy or your philosophy around how you treat customers or what your service offerings are. No, employees aren't going to give you the perfect financial forecasting, but they do have the boots on the ground intel to what your clients, your customers, whoever's paying you, what they're missing from their experience of you being something that they're paying for. And also, employees just don't like to be told what to do. So like just a lack of communication, and you want them to do bigger stuff, they are asking you to tell them why. They're asking you, like, where are we going? What are we doing? What's going on? Why you're jerking us around? What's happening? Here's another one. Improve gross profit margin from 45% to 50%. Great. So basically, imagine you're selling lemonade for $5, but making that cup of lemonade costs you $2 if you include the lemons and the sugar and the price of the cups. So your gross profit margin is what's left after paying for the lemons and the sugar and the cups. So $5 minus $2 equals $3. That's great. How are you going to increase your gross profit margin if employees are saying the tools we have are outdated and it's becoming a real problem and there's like no work-life balance out there? So they're telling you what's getting in the way of their best work. For this to even happen, we can't just push people harder. We need to innovate. You need to optimize your employee experience and show employees that you're listening because they are the ones making these things happen. So there you got some like super dialed in how this ladders up to, in this example, your company's OKRs. It goes into excruciating detail that I'm not going to read to you. You can pause if you want to take a look at this. But what's really cool is ChatGPT is even throwing emojis in here to make it readable. So what we're going to do from here is say, this is fantastic. Again, we always want to be nice to ChatGPT just in case. Scroll back up. Okay, great. Now help me outline a presentation for presenting the findings. Executives care about data and logic. I want to get them to see how an engaged workforce is good for business. These are the answers to revenue and growth. You'll notice I even have a typo in here, and I'm going to leave it in here to prove to you that ChatGPT doesn't care. Please outline a basic, succinct presentation that would get revenue-driven executives to understand the common themes, the OKRs affected, and what we could possibly do. Go. I think I even said so about it instead of do about it. Executive presentation outline. Okay, here's a slide. You're going to call it people problems or business problems, or revenue solutions, unlocking revenue through employee engagement. Doesn't that sound nice? Imagine your name and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm leveling up so hard. You're going to make a business case. You're going to tell everyone, what if I told you fixing employee engagement issues could be our biggest growth lever this year? You talk about the stats, how this makes companies more profitable. Now you're not just talking about feelings. You don't just have a hunch. You are speaking their language, profitability, productivity, and it costs money when employees are not productive. Okay, this is just good for revenue, profitability, and market expansion, which just means you are doing more business. Slide 3, here you go. You're going to say, here are the key themes. We analyzed employee feedback and found 3 major roadblocks hurting performance. Doesn't this sound like a big old truth pill, but like in a way that they're about to respect the heck out of you? Lack of leadership and communication and transparency. Blah, 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 blah. Lack of career growth, workload, innovation, and team connection issues. What this means, if we don't address these, boom, we're leaving money on the table, friends. We got this. We're going to fix this. We're going to do it right. And then it even shows you how you can go into your specific OKRs. Lack of innovation is going to hurt deal size, friends. Love that OKR for you, but it's not going to happen. Overloaded employees means slower execution, lower sales productivity. Don't love that. Disengaged teams, lack of strategic focus. Man, we need to improve workload balance. We need to invest in innovating our culture and increase transparency on company, maybe not company goals, but increase transparency on why decisions are being made. This is where you're going to finesse. You're going to see things that you're like, not exactly, but like so close. So here's a slide deck for you. Doesn't this sound nice? And then you're going to open it up for discussion. What are your thoughts? If you're really nervous, you can be like, this is fantastic. Can you write me a talk track? Let's say you're remote and you're like super nervous. Can you write me a talk track for each slide? You'll paste it into the presentation notes where nobody can see it, and you're just going to read. Thanks everyone for taking the time today. I know revenue, growth, and customer retention and scaling our business are top priorities for all of us. But today, I want to show you that's something that might surprise you. Like if you're not even sure what to say, it can help you understand how to talk about this. This is how we learn. You're going to have to fake it till you make it, but you'll find pretty quickly you know your stuff and you're going to see some really cool success. So let's take it a step further. Please help me craft an email to my executive team that gets them curious and excited for me to share what I found. Make me sound like a partner and an ally to the success of this business. Boom. Imagine you went and made your amazing deck. Here we go. Paste, go. No more agonizing over email. Oh, is it still going? Oh, it's still going. Stop. Go. Oh, it even gives you a subject line that's so baller. Unlocking growth, a fresh look at our biggest revenue opportunity. Hey, executive team, remember me? Yeah. The HR leader you're so glad you hired. You're so going to realize that you should have been taking me seriously the whole time. I've been digging into our latest employee feedback. I came across something that I think you'll find really interesting, maybe even surprising. Blah, 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 blah. It may seem like just another engagement report, but when I started connecting the dots, yeah, you used AI, but who cares? You still did it, did you not? You were prompting ChatGPT. You were asking it the questions. You were refining it and saying, not this, more this, not that. It was still you. When I started connecting the dots, a much bigger picture emerged. Our employee experience is directly impacting our ability to hit revenue and growth targets. In fact, I can draw a clear line from some of the challenges employees are facing to key business metrics like, and you can even bold this stuff, okay? Let's talk about copy paste, book a meeting, use this awesome subject line. And if you don't like it, watch this. If you're like, I don't talk like that, or that's too long, you say, can you make a shorter version? Whatever you need. And I don't know, include a point that one of our company values is action. I don't know. Let's just like, I'm just trying to show you that you can really make this your own. Can you make a shorter version? I also, maybe you need to make it more formal. I hope you don't. Like, I thought this was very conversational and this was great. So you can always say like, make it more conversational, or I need this to be a little bit more formal and buttoned up. I need this to be, let's just use that, a little more formal and buttoned up. Boo, executives can be so boring. Great, go. Okay. Hey team, I've done this. Therefore, we will do this. I would even say, would you be open to a 15-minute discussion? It's not 15 minutes. It needs to be an hour. And just tell them it's either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Sure, you can go in and edit it yourself. But if you're really tired, this just helps. You don't have to worry about proofreading like proper grammar. Since our company values action, I'd like to walk you through the data-driven analysis. A data-driven analysis showing how addressing key employee challenges can remove execution barriers. Boom! Oh my gosh. Do you feel the spiciness on your tongue? Do you feel that CHRO salary coming for you? Can you hear it? Can you just like taste the, what am I trying to say? Success? I don't know. Maybe that means you're eating sushi. All of this has CHRO written all over it. And that's what you are, a CHRO in incubation. If you want to be, maybe you're a CEO. Can you give me other subject line ideas? Now we're getting into the weeds, but I'm just trying to demonstrate how much you can ask ChatGPT to figure out for you. Look at all these different subject lines. Okay, and you can go back and forth with it. Make it longer, make it shorter, add some emojis, make it more personal. Tell Jeff I need him there because he's never in meetings. Tell Jeff he can't decline this one. Just kidding. Jeff is going to get fired. What we're going to do next is say, now help me write a Slack message to the company. Let's say you got all that in motion. We just did this in like 20 minutes. Now we're going to write a Slack message to the company and like make sure we've covered all of our bases, because employees want to know that you got their feedback and that the survey has closed and what's going to happen next. What's happening next is you're about to go to the executive table and belly up and say, hey, are we a people first company or not? Do you like revenue or not? Let's write a Slack message to the company thanking them for the survey, for taking the survey, and that we're excited to share key takeaways at the next all hands. Position me as gracious and empathetic, a people leader who prioritizes their employee experience. You don't have to say exactly that. It's all good. I'm just giving you an example. Soup to nuts. Hey everyone, thanks for your feedback. Huge thank you to all of you who took the time to share your thoughts in our recent survey. Your feedback is incredibly valuable. Although it like killed my little empathetic heart, I'm learning not to let it bother me. We appreciate your honesty, insights, and trust. Oh, I love that ChatGPT added that in. At this company, we believe that a great employee experience isn't just about policies. It's about listening and learning and taking action together. We've been reviewing the results closely, and we're excited to share key takeaways in our next all-hands meeting. Oh, man. Isn't this just like, here, watch this. This is great. Can you add some emojis where appropriate? Boom. Look at all this personality. Look at all this flair. Do you see how you can have your superpower of empathy, but also be a business person? You in the background are like, hey, executives, listen to me. Also, everybody, there's nothing wrong with you. You did exactly what you were supposed to do, and you didn't hurt me. I'm here to give you a great employee experience, and without your feedback, I can't do my job. So this just saved you a whole bunch of time and heartache. And it's really cool, right? And if anyone's like, well, show me the raw data. Well, here you go. But also, I already summarized it. Don't let your executives into here before you've given them a presentation walking them through your at. That's what I'll leave you with, is like, if an executive's like, can I see the survey results? Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to present to you what I learned, and then you can go through the raw feedback yourself. What you're doing here is shaping what they should be paying attention to. Because if you just send them in here blind, they're going to be like, oh, Go build a peer recognition tool or program. Go do career pathing, because that sounds like a feather in their cap that you're going to go do all the work. But remember, the employee hierarchy of needs says that that's not necessarily what you would go do first. So this is how you avoid being jerked around and being told what to do and then working really hard on a program that you don't even have time to be putting together because you're so busy for it to flop. Okay? All right. You're doing great. I hope this lesson made you see that you don't have to be brilliant, not even in the slightest, to use ChatGPT. It's actually pretty wicked smart. But you are brilliant for using it because you are using it to go faster and to think like a business person. It's like a partner for you to make sure you nail these presentations, even down to the script if you need it. Okay? So that is how you use AI to go faster.